Alright, fingers crossed that this goes okay, guys, because it's so cloudy outside that I have had to turn on the light that I used to film with that gives me migraines, so hopefully this won't happen. I haven't had a migraine now for a couple of weeks, so hopefully it won't trigger a migraine and everything will go smoothly. Alright, so I'm going to use the Maybelline 24K Nudes palette and test this out. This is the first time that I will have used that, but I thought it might be fun to incorporate some other Maybelline products into what I'm wearing today, just because. So I have jumped ahead and applied those products so that the video won't be crazy long. So what I have on so far is, for a lip treatment product, I put on the Maybelline Lips Balm Ball. No, this is the Maybelline Baby Balm Ball, and the color is Bit of Berry. So I just use that like to moisturize my lips. Then I used the Maybelline Baby Skin Primer. This is, I think, one of the best primers at the drugstore. It's quite similar to the Smashbox primer that I usually use. Quite similar. Then I used Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth Foundation in the shade 115 Ivory. Hadn't used that in a while, so I figured I would put that on. And then I used the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser Dark Circles Treatment Concealer in the shade Light. And I hadn't used this in a long time, and I forgot how moisturizing this is. It was so moisturizing that I felt like I had to set it with something, which I don't really like to use powder under my eyes. So for that reason, I don't think I would ever be able to use that concealer every single day. So to set it, I thought it would be appropriate to set it with the Maybelline Master Fix by FaceStudio Setting and Perfecting Loose Powder. And this is just a translucent powder. So I used a little bit of that to set it. And then I contoured my face. Here's where we go off the Maybelline. I contoured my face with the Physicians Formula Bronze Booster Matte Sculpting Palette. So I just used that one right there to contour my face. I love that contour powder. I definitely didn't want to use anything else. And then I used my Milani Face and Eye Strobe palette in Candlelight, and I used the blush, and I used the highlight. And then I bronzed my face with Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in light bronze. And I primed my eyes with my MAC Painterly Paint Pot. Alright, so let's dive into the Maybelline palette. So this is a new palette that Maybelline has out. I had heard, I can't get a confirmation from Maybelline, but I had heard that this was going to be the first palette with the reformulated eyeshadow formula. I swatched this after I bought it, and I wasn't impressed with the way it swatched. But in all fairness to the palette, there are times when eyeshadows do not swatch well, but they do apply well and look pretty on your eyes. So I'm hoping that that is the case with this. I mean, it's a rare thing, but it does happen. I have some palettes that are like that, and so you can't always tell. It would help if I had makeup brushes in front of me. Be right back. Alright, got some brushes so we can actually do this. It comes with a double-sided sponge tip applicator. And, you know, these types of things really aren't that bad, but I don't really like to use them unless I'm traveling. If I'm traveling, I don't really want to bring all my makeup brushes with me. It's just a big pain in the neck. I try to bring as few tools as possible. So if I was traveling, I would use this. It's got two different shapes to it, but I'm not traveling today. I'm just filming a video. So I'm just going to use my normal makeup brushes. Okay, let me show you the colors in this. So this is what it looks like. There is no mirror in here. And this is what it looks like. They give you some ideas on the back of the palette as to what to do with it. I didn't even really look at that or notice it until just now. So what I had decided to do today is totally my own creation. But here's the shades. So the first thing that I noticed about this palette, once I had it home and had already bought it, is that I don't see an obvious crease shade. Do you? I mean, the way most of us on YouTube like to do our makeup is a brow bone highlight, a crease shade, a lid color, or maybe a couple of lid colors, and maybe a transition shade. I don't see any transition shades or crease colors, so this should be interesting. Yeah, I've been noticing a lot of palettes lately that even when they do have them, a lot of times they're not really that suitable for my skin tone. So we're gonna just see what we can do here. Okay, so I think that this shade right here would probably be pretty as a brow bone highlight and maybe an inner corner highlight. So let's start with that. And I'm just going to use this basic e.l.f. brush. This is a pretty dense brush, and I'm thinking that if these shadows aren't that pigmented, because like I said, I've swatched them, they really don't swatch that well. So I'm going to use a denser brush so that hopefully it will pick up the pigment better. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that on my brush. And like I said, I've already primed my eyes with the MAC Painterly Paint Pot. Alright, so it's pretty. It's not that pigmented, but it's pretty and it might work with what I was going to do. Yeah, that's barely noticeable. Let's see what happens when I try using it as an inner corner highlight. Alright, it shows up a little bit better as an inner corner highlight. I definitely see it there. Don't see it so much on the brow bone. Well, you know, maybe we could layer a little something else over that then so that maybe we can see it. What if we use this? On camera, it's coming off as a white, but if you see it in person, it actually looks more like a beige. So why don't we take a little bit of that and layer that on top. All right, that lightens things up a bit. That's better. Gives us more of that highlight type effect. Okay, that works. Now, like I said, I don't really see a crease shade in here. So I guess this is like a beige, but yeah, that's not really going to show up with my skin tone. But it will cover, I've still got a little bit more redness going on here, so it will cover that up a bit. Let's try it. I'm going to use this NYX blending brush. It's kind of a golden beige, but yeah, let's try it. Nope, that's like nothing. But just to keep it even, let's put some nothing on this side. Okay, maybe I shouldn't think about the crease right now. Why don't we put something on the lid and then maybe we can figure that out later. All right, what if we take this golden beige taupey color right here and put some of that on the lid. I'm going to use my MAC 239 brush for that. That should work. And if I'm working with a shadow that I know is not pigmented, instead of like patting or pressing it on, I'm gonna like press and then swirl like in a really small circle, and that will pick up some color. See how I did that? Okay. All right, I can see it, and it is pretty. All right, that's pretty. Let's put a little more on the brush. Good old MAC 239 brush never fails me. This is great for packing color on the lids, and you can always get some color on it no matter what type of shadow you're using. All right, I can see that. That's pretty. Okay, what if we take this golden brown shade? It's a shimmery color, and I would usually prefer not to use shimmer in the crease, but I think that would look really nice with that taupey beige color. That'd be a pretty combo. So let's see, for a brush for that, because it's a really dark color and I don't want to sweep a lot of it on there, why don't we take a brush that I don't have in front of me. Okay, why don't we take an e.l.f. blending brush and use that, because this is a little bit denser than something like that NYX The NYX brush that I was just using before is fluffier and more of a dome shape. This is denser and thicker. The brush hairs are a little bit shorter, so it might pick up the product better. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of that on my brush. And I'm going to start on the outside edge here. All right, this might work. Okay, I'm also going to put some on the outside part of the lid. Okay, that's not too bad, I guess. All right, I'm going to blend that out some more with maybe a different brush after. Let's move on and do the other side here. This is a really pretty color though. And it's not so dark that you know, you're going to have any trouble with it. Yeah, I really wish I had a transition shade in here. Actually, I do see this this yellowy color here. It's coming off white on the camera, but in real life it's like a yellowy beige. I could use that to blend this out if I had to. Let's see if we can blend it without doing that. Don't really like the way this is blending though. All right, that's pretty well blended. Okay, let's take a small pencil brush and drag a little bit of that bronzy type shade along my lower lash line. Works good for that. This small pencil brush is by Zoeva. Yeah, works really good for that. Okay, I like the way that came out. You know what maybe I could do is take a little bit of this shadow on the pencil brush and dab it in the corners here, just to put a little more concentration of color right at the corner. And then go back with that blending brush. All right, that's better. Okay, now what else have we got here? Should I take a little bit of that really intense gold and pop that in the center of my lids? Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Okay, I'm going to use my ring finger for that. Here we go. Just pat it on right in the center of my lids. Ooh, I like it. I was so afraid that was going to ruin everything I had already done. I like it. Yeah, that's good. Okay. All right, I don't think we better use any more colors. All right, let's see. Now let's take a little bit of liner and go right along my lower lash line and my tight line. This is Maybelline, no it isn't. This is Revlon Colorstay in black, very basic. I do have some Maybelline liners, but none of the colors that I have go with what I'm doing with this look. So I'm just gonna dab a little bit of this right at the root of my lashes. And I'm going to tight line with this. And I'm going to take a little bit of the Wet n Wild Mega Slim Skinny Mascara. and put that on my lower lashes. And then we're going to take some Maybelline The Colossal Spider Effect mascara and put that on the top lashes. And I'm going to do my brows off camera. And I added a tiny bit more mascara than I did my brows, and all that's left is lips. I'm going to use my NYX Lip Primer because I put this under everything that I do for lips. Keeps the lip products inside the lines and makes it last longer. Let that sink in for a second. And on my lips, since this is a video about Maybelline, I figured I would use the Maybelline Baby Lips Color Balm Crayon in the shade Blush Burst. It's just a really wearable, My Lips But Better color, I would say. Well, actually, it's not really. No, my lips aren't that peach, but for a lot of people, this would be a My Lips But Better color. This product is really moisturizing, so you could get away with not even using lip balm at the beginning of the video. It's the most pigmented tinted lip balm I've ever used. I did a video of doing lip swatches of every single color of this, so if you want to see the other colors, check that video out. This is one of the least colorful of the bunch. I wanted to do something really light and neutral because I didn't want it to clash with the eye look. Okay, yeah, that was a pretty good choice for color. Alright, so my final verdict on this palette is not every company can be good at everything. I don't care what brand we're talking about. There are going to be strengths and weaknesses amongst brands. Maybelline just doesn't seem to be able to do a good powder eyeshadow consistently. I have all the other palettes of the Maybelline palettes that have come out in the last couple of years, and I like them, but I don't love them. And I can't, sorry about all the noise, but the trash man's picking up the trash. Timing is everything, buddy. Yeah, go, go, go. Yeah, I don't know. Maybelline, when it comes to eyeshadows, I always feel like they just don't measure up as well as some other brands do. Even with the color tattoos. There are things about the color tattoos that I don't love. They can look so pretty on your eyes, but the formula isn't quite right. I like the Revlon, the new Revlon cream eyeshadows, way better than I do the Maybelline color tattoos. And these palettes, there are much better palettes out there at the drugstore. Lots of brands do it better. And it's like when they put this color scheme together. I mean, what am I supposed to use in my crease, you know? I mean, I figured out a way around it. I just incorporated that dark shade into and did like a two-tone thing on the lids and worked that into the crease. I mean, I figured out a way around it, but you shouldn't have to work that hard trying to figure out how you're going to do something. Now, if I wanted to use a different color scheme, I could do the same shade that I used on my lids before, and I could have used the purple in my crease, because that's, I was going to say it's matte, but it's really not. It's like a satin, but it's got some shimmer in there, and it probably would show up once you actually applied it. It looks like a matte on camera, but it's not. And then if you wanted to do like a smoky eye with the grays and blacks and stuff, when you swatch the black and the gray, even though this one here has got lots of sparkle and everything in it, and this one looks like a matte, which it's, yeah, it is. When you try to blend them together, because I did swatches on my hand and I swatched those two side by side on my hand, they just all look, the two look the same color once you start blending them. So you wouldn't be able to do that. The only thing you would be able to do is to take maybe the lightest shade in the palette, this one, and then maybe use that in the crease. But on camera this looks white, but in real life it's not. It's more of a goldeny beige shade, so I wouldn't necessarily want to put that color with that one. There's just not enough things I feel like you can do with this. I feel like so much of it is wasted. I mean, as it turns out, I am happy with the way the look turned out. I think it's pretty, I think it's okay, but if I want to use this palette again and do something different with it, there aren't too many different ways you can go with this. Some of these shadows just aren't very good. So I would say don't waste your money. I don't really think you would be happy with this, and that is my honest opinion. Sorry, Maybelline, but yeah, you gotta do better than this. If this is the new and improved formula, you got some more work to do. That's it for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Bye.